All right, we are live, you guys. I look like total shizatch, and that is because I was not. I could look worse, but I was not prepared to go on today. I told you guys last night when I live streamed Candace's insane, paranoid, schizophrenic story that I was done with her, totally done. God help me, never doing another live. Oh, just a second. Getting myself in there yelling. I was done with her and I was never going to do it again, never going to live stream again. So help me God. Well, then ERIKA KIRK, as you know, as you may or may not know, and I need to fix my setup here because I'm having to lean into the microphone. ERIKA KIRK, as you may know or may not know, she came out today. I'll play it in a minute if we have some time. She came out today in an interview, guns blazing, so to speak. I have to say, you know, Olivia, I have been somewhat critical of ERIKA KIRK at times for various reasons, not for the reasons Candace is, right? But this was the most impressive and authentic that I have seen her and effective that I have seen ERIKA KIRK. And I think that being angry and fired up at Candace Owens and her ilk, it looks really good on ERIKA KIRK. But everyone, I don't know when's Candace is going to come on. This is her page right now we're looking at. So as soon as she comes on, then we're gonna put her on. And I want to introduce my guest and kind of tell you what we're doing here today. So this feels like deja vu, Olivia. I feel like you've been in my life a lot the last few days.
I know. We like suddenly are just seeing a lot of each other, which is great. I'm having a great time. Hi guys, I'm Olivia Dasovic. If you don't know me, you know my husband, I'm assuming, Brett Dasovic from Pop Culture Crisis. I also started a YouTube channel recently, so you guys should go and subscribe to that. And I'm almost at 200. I'm very excited. But I will say with ERIKA, I love that she called her out without saying her name. That was so powerful to me that she called her out, didn't even say her name. And now, of course, here we are. She's on the thumbnail.
Oh yeah, and you know what? There was some debate. I saw some debate in the chat as to whether Candace would try to slink out of this by saying, "Well, ERIKA didn't mention me. She's not talking about me." But clearly, we're not. I know that with Candace, we've reached all new levels of stupidity, all new lows. But that would have been too ridiculous for anyone. I think for Candace to try to claim that ERIKA was not referring to her today. So. Anyway, I was not expecting to do another live stream of Candace's show, but this is a huge deal because, as a number of you may know, Candace said months ago or weeks ago, I don't know when that was, that basically the only two people who could stop her from what she has been doing, from her search for the truth about Charlie Kirk's murder and her harassment of TPUSA, that the only two people who could stop her would be her own husband, George Farmer, or ERIKA KIRK. So ERIKA KIRK, again, if we have time, I'll show you in a minute. ERIKA KIRK has now more than asked her to stop. And she said that she wants these people to stop. And then she talked for a good 10 minutes or so about 5-10 minutes about the damage that this has done to her family, to Charlie's friends, to the organization and the people that Charlie loved. So the gauntlet is clearly on the table. Also, before we get started with this, I want to say something. It is so sickening. And I have to say, as a struggling podcaster, it is demoralizing to see all the money that people are dropping on Candace Owens. And, you know, the thing is, everybody, I'm not going to say that Candace is not a better presenter than I am. She is smoother than I am. She is better coiffed, better made up than I am. I hope that one day I can get to her level in terms of my presentation. But I tell you, I could have so many more followers and subscribers. You know, this is true, Olivia. I could have so many more if I just did the conspiracy BS.
Oh, yeah.
All in on this slop. So I just want to say to people, I don't normally hammer my tip jar very hard at people, but I do have a PayPal tip jar down there. I do appreciate your super chats as well, but I hope that people appreciate the fight that I've been waging the last few weeks, even before it became popular, against Candace Owens. And everything that counts. Your tips, donations are appreciated below in the tip jar. But she's about to go on, so we're going to see what she says, and I don't know. It's going to be interesting. Any predictions, Olivia, right before she comes on?
Well, I'm looking at her tweet here. Oh,
what did she tweet?
Okay, you guys. Now, I wasn't sure about ERIKA. I was waiting kind of a situation for her to be in, obviously, having lost her husband. becoming the CEO and the chairman of a company. It's just a lot of transition, and it's nice to wait for more information before you prejudge or just make an assumption about somebody and it maybe is not based in reality. Well, we are getting a lot more of ERIKA KIRK this week. I'll tell you that, because she has been doing the rounds in the media really over the last couple of weeks. And she just gave an interview live with Harris Faulkner on Fox News, where she finally addressed the quote unquote conspiracy theories. And I have to say this because it's true, but it completely missed the mark for me. I am sorry, it just has. But the good news is that she is now unmurkying the water in terms of her intentions with this massive political organization. That's good news, truly, because we knew Charlie, and now we are getting an opportunity to know
Here we go. Here we go.
Plus, later on in the show, it's Knives Out for Tucker Carlson. As always, he's trending right now because he has officially waded into the who killed Charlie Kirk narrative. And since he is not a bought and paid for Fed, he is siding with not just the American people worldwide. And he says that he's not buying the official narrative. And there are some lingering questions. And he confirms what I told you about the Egyptian planes. So let's jump right back into this. Welcome back to Candace.
Sorry. By the way, I'm muting it, but I have a guest, a friend, Jeff, with experience with the plane stuff. He's going to talk about it. But anyway.
Look, I have been very patient. I do tend to focus on the evidence that's in front of us. Obviously, asking questions when we come up across something that someone has said and it doesn't add up, or if they lied, create a list. And you guys were coming after me because I was saying, look, we can write into our imaginations how ERIKA is thinking or how she's feeling or what she should be wearing, but she hasn't actually said anything yet. Right? That was my stance. She hasn't actually said anything yet. Give her a chance. Okay. And now she is making the rounds in the press because Charlie's book, his posthumous book, is coming out about the Sabbath. And she's speaking about the quote unquote conspiracies as she sits down with a lot of these news anchors. So first and foremost, she's sitting down here with Harris Faulkner, and I just want to show you a couple of clips from this sit down, which is now trending. And she begins by addressing the question, which has been in the air, regarding where Charlie Kirk is buried. That question resurfaced this week in a big way because Milo Yiannopoulos and a few others have asserted with absolute certainty that Charlie has not yet been buried. That's what they're saying. They say they have proof of that. And at first, Harris Faulkner is asking about that claim. Take a listen.
Talk to me about this part of the conspiracies that are out there, this disturbing part that people are trying to guess where Charlie is.
Can I have one thing? Can I have one thing? Can my children have one thing? Everything was public. We will be building the most beautiful memorial for my husband at Turning Point USA, and it will be for...
Sorry, real quick, by the way, I know some people are objecting to this, saying, well, why did ERIKA, if she wants this privacy, or if she wants this one thing to herself, why was she having pictures taken of her next to the coffin? And look, again, I've had some critiques of ERIKA myself and different things. We'll talk about this later, but I do want to note this because I'm going to address it later. I don't think that's a valid critique. But anyway, let's continue.
For the world to see, and it will be spectacular, and it will have basically museum style for our Charlie, for my Charlie. But can I have one thing? Can my babies have one thing where we hold it sacred, where my husband is laid to rest, where I don't have to be worried about some secular revolutionary coming and destroying my husband's grave while my daughter is sitting there praying? One thing, this is my husband. Yes, he was Charlie Kirk to the world, and I know so many people love my husband, and I am grateful for that, but this is my husband, and I want to be able to have one thing left that is sacred to our family, to my in-laws, to my babies, and to my parents. One thing.
Okay, so on its face, I actually agree with that. I think that when people are being buried and where they're being buried and how their funerals are done, that is very private matter. Okay. So objectively, I agree with what she's saying. Okay. But subjectively, because we are dealing with the subject of ERIKA KIRK and what transpired immediately following Charlie's assassination, this is going to be read.
I didn't hear you there. I'm not sure why. Hold on.
Oh, I'm sorry. My bad. I'm sorry, everyone. I was just saying, I was hearing you typing. If you could mute yourself.
Sorry, yeah, I'll mute
It's
when
fine. It's
I'm
not a big
typing.
deal. It's not a big deal. All right.
As Meghan Markle syndrome, okay? Meghan Markle syndrome, where you want privacy when you want it, but you want publicity whenever you want it, and that just doesn't work, okay? It doesn't work that way. I honestly think it was said best by Bethany Frankel, not related to this situation. Bethany Frankel is on Real Housewives, a show, a reality show. And she was referring to one of the housewives who lived her life very publicly, showcased her marriage, was buying tons of Louis Vuitton bags, and they had tons of money. And then when their relationship soured, the housewife basically asked the public for privacy. And Bethany was like, no, this isn't how it works. Like, we were riding with you on the way up, or riding with you on the way out. You don't get to like pick and choose when you want privacy and when you don't want privacy. And subjectively, as it, in the matter of ERIKA KIRK, this is the same person who had somebody record her over Charlie Kirk's casket. That was not our business, truly. And I can say that decision was made by her. And there is, some credence to the claim that everybody grieves differently. I wouldn't even record myself over a casket ever, okay? Some people maybe perhaps want to have that memory. But the decision to publish that, you crying over your husband's casket, and to publish his dead body on Instagram, was a decision that was made by ERIKA. And we can watch that. Take a look.
Oh, I love you. I love you. I love you. I know. I love you. I love you.
All right. I just have to say really quick, and again, I'm going to want to play this through before we really respond. But there is a difference between ERIKA KIRK wanting to memorialize and grieve publicly to a degree, and to also promote her husband's organization. All of these things which she was doing by allowing the public in to some of the mourning process. There's a difference between that and having all of these people, these wild-eyed conspiracy theorists and angry Candace Owens, demanding that you tell them where exactly your husband is going to be buried for decades. And as she said, she doesn't want people showing up, desecrating the site, what have you. Just because someone lets someone into one aspect of their mourning process does not mean that that gives them, the public or Candace Owens, carte blanche to get into everything. And so I've had critiques of ERIKA KIRK, and we can talk about that later. But to me, this is BS, and it's disingenuous for Candace Owens to say that it's okay for her and her followers to go rabid, demanding all the details of Charlie Kirk's body, or when was it buried? Has it been buried? Just because in the first few confused days of mourning, ERIKA KIRK decided that she wanted to let the public in on the mourning process. Anyway, okay.
God bless you.
That is an incredibly personal and an incredibly intimate moment that you invited the public into. Okay, there was no reason to do that outside of wanting to share something that was very private with the public. And now you fast forward 3 months removed, and it's why does the public want to know where he's buried? It doesn't work like that. You have to make a decision. I want this always to be private.
Actually, Candace, it can work like that. and for you to act like, oh, I'm just, me and my followers, we're just these completely like neutral people. We're just we're kind-hearted toward ERIKA. We just, we're just curious about Charlie, where he's buried. That's not the case. Anyways, I'm sorry. I'm going to stop interrupting. We'll let her get through some.
Or I want this always to be public. That's my personal feedback there. Later on in this same interview, she launches into a strong defense of Turning Point USA employees who have, just as a matter of fact, told many lies, many inconsistencies. These are verifiable. So they are currently lying to the public, or they have lied to the public, but she is going to deliver quite an impassioned defense regarding these particular individuals and the organization as a whole. And I want you to hear her passion. Take a listen.
What are they taking from you right now?
Nothing. But I will tell you what they are doing. It reminds me so much of chapter 6 in the book of Nehemiah. He is building a wall, and the townspeople are at the base of that hill saying, Nehemiah, calling him all these names, saying all these things, come on down. Every single time he had the same message 4 times in a row. I cannot come down. I am busy building. That is how I feel. I do not have time to address the noise. My silence does not mean that I am complacent. My silence does not mean that somehow Turning Point USA and all of the handpicked staff that loved my husband and my husband loved them is somehow in on it. We are busy building. And you know what I thought? I thought these people are human. We are all grieving in our own way. And they are trying to find the answer to something that happened that was so evil. They are trying so hard. And I get that. We're doing the same. Anytime we hear a lead or anytime we hear anything, we send it to the authorities. Please dig into this. No rock will be unturned. I want justice for my husband, for myself, for my family, more than anyone else out there. So for me, you want to keep telling me to come down while we're building? I don't have time for that. But here's my breaking point on that. Come after me, call me names, I don't care. Call me what you want, go down that rabbit hole, whatever. But when you go after my family, my Turning Point USA family, my Charlie Kirk Show family, when you go after the people that I love, and you're making hundreds and thousands of dollars every single episode going after the people that I love because somehow they're in on this, no.
I'm sorry, but that whole thing right there is frustrating. And I'm going to explain to you why I just do not accept any of that. First and foremost, the idea that she does not have time. Okay, she definitely has time, okay? She's done Hannity, she's done The Five, she's done Fox and Friends, she's done Outnumbered.
She has time. She doesn't have time for bullshit. Olivia, I've talked a lot. What are your feelings so far?
A lot of anger, to be honest. Like, I just, watching her face the whole time she's watching that clip and watching her kind of just be like, I don't take that. So, of course, she said, Erika's the only one that can tell me to stop. Erika says, stop. She says, I don't think you're saying that the right way. I actually don't like how you're presenting this. Like, what do you mean? So I was taking notes here just so I would remember kind of what to say as we go on. But she mentions, the in-laws, which people have critiqued her for. And she finally says, I want to protect my in-laws. And they were always very private, even when Charlie was alive. They weren't the public people, right? So she said she wants one thing for her and her kids. And this reminds me a lot of when my mom passed away and we did a private family burial for her. Now, mind you, my mom was, a woman from Michigan that people didn't follow, but she, we did the private burial because it was for family and very close friends. It was not for the public or for everyone that came to the funeral service. We did a final prayer, had people go to the luncheon, and then we went as a family privately and we went and did the burial. So it's a very, very intimate thing. And if Erika wants to post some public, some private, she can do what she wants. Honestly, that's her life. That is her grieving. For Candace to say it should be all public or all private, no, that's just not the case. She can do what she wants.
Totally agree. All right, let's see what she's saying. I'm gonna get it back to the spot
And
we were at.
the thing that is especially are trying to sell to us, assassination and the BS narrative that is being fed. That organization has, they made 40.
Sorry.
This is not a matter of time constraint.
Okay.
You are allowed to prioritize things in your own life, but this is not a matter of time constraint. It is not her priority to respond to the majority, actually. The majority of people think of this as BS. The majority of people think Turning Point is acting suspicious.
No.
And she does not feel that it is what she wants to do as a matter of priority, responding. Okay, that's fine. Now, to that point that people are making hundreds and thousands of dollars. I just don't get how there's not someone on this very large PR team, as we're seeing these PR campaigns go out, that doesn't go, hey, maybe we should strike that. They made $40 million like 2 nights ago at Mar-a-Lago. Maybe that feels kind of a little bit like let them eat cake-ish. Oh, and we've made more than, separately from Mar-a-Lago, Turning Point USA, since Charlie was killed, just so you guys know, this is a fact, has made more than $100 million. That is separate from the $40 million they made at Mar-a-Lago the other night. So since Charlie has died, that organization has taken in $140 million. But gosh darn you people that are making hundreds of dollars every day on YouTube talking.
First of all, you're not making hundreds of dollars. Okay. If you're getting the kinds of donations that I'm seeing flashing across the screen, on top of every time she puts a video out like this, it ends up with at least 1 million views, usually more. 1 million views translates into, it's not as much as people think, but depending on advertising revenue and the level that Candace Owens is at, I would estimate, I guess what I'm saying is that every episode she puts out in terms of donations and in terms of YouTube revenue, that she is making many tens of thousands of dollars per episode, probably with advertisers, maybe even more, maybe even to the 6 figures. So let's cut the BS there. But anyway, continue on.
About Charlie Kirk's assassination and the BS narrative that is being fed, and the very obvious psychological operation that is being employed to make you accept the BS that they are trying to sell to us. Gosh darn you.
A very obvious psychological operation.
Did you make $1,000 today? Speaking about Charlie Kirk, well, you should be ashamed of yourself, says Turning Point USA, who in large part made that money because of those very people who gave to the organization.
It's not that you're making the money talking about Charlie Kirk. It's that you're making the money trying to destroy everyone and everything that he cared about and built.
Immediately following Charlie Kirk's assassination. And the thing that is especially absurd about that is trying to almost like, I want to be clear that Turning Point USA is my family. The Charlie Kirk show is my family. She's just expanding the wings of people that we're not allowed to critique because they're in the family. If you call them fam, you can't critique them, right? Oh, I'm sorry. We actually are showing a clip of Rob McCoy defending a pedophile or trying to launder the reputation of
oh, for God's sake.
That's this
fucking hate the way she does that. We've talked about it. She drags all this other shit into it. This pastor having some controversy about something unrelated. So ridiculous. So ridiculous. Okay.
CK show fam. Oh, I'm sorry. We are actually pointing to the fact that we know for certain that this person or organization is sexual deviant. That's fam. That is my, don't you get me upset. I know that this is a now $150 million in the last 3-month organization, and we employ tons of people, but you can't critique. You can't critique the fam. And I hate to say this, but I'm going to be very clear here. This is why there are many people who do not believe that women are equipped to lead companies, because what you are watching here is an unbelievably emotional response that is absent of any logic, okay? If you really care about your team, answer the questions. Okay, just demystify the entire event.
While she's talking about women and she's playing this stupid trad card now, I just want to remind everyone that Candace Owens published a book recently called Make Him a Sandwich. And of course, the thesis of the book, and I'm not trying to alienate those of you in the audience who have a more traditional perspective, all right? But the thesis of the book was that women need to basically deprioritize career, anything professional, and just get into the kitchen and make him a sandwich. And of course, as you know, Candace has a very traditional marriage with a very traditional man, right? I hate it when she pulls this. What do you think, Olivia?
Yeah, so first of all, she should be ashamed of making 3 months of content based on this. It shouldn't be. Erika's not saying you make a one-off video about what happened with Charlie and you should be ashamed. No, she's specifically saying every single day you are making money off of my husband's murder and spreading these asinine theories. And then she said, why don't you strike it? Well, if they strike it, Candace is going to say, oh, that's suspicious. right? If that's what she does. And then she's saying,
Mhm.
don't pull them into your theories about Charlie Kirk. She's not saying to criticize unrelated things. Do what you got to do. Criticize people if you need to. But the second you are criticizing them and saying that they killed somebody who they loved and appreciated and are devastated and grieving, and mind you, this is all happening. Today is the 3-month anniversary since Charlie died. So I'm assuming Erika is a bit more emotional today, as she should be. That makes sense to me. So for her to say, oh, this is why she shouldn't lead a company, she's emotional. She's probably one of the most logical women that I've seen in this space, but she's charged with emotion right now because of what happened to her husband.
And it wasn't even that emotional, too. That's the other thing. I actually thought she comes across angry and she comes across strong and passionate, but I actually didn't think it was very emotional. I think Candace Owens, when she gets whipped up at times
She's
with
like-
that head, back to
Yeah.
her. When you go back and look, by the way, and this is something I'm putting in my series, when you go back and look at her earlier videos, she's definitely not polished like she is here. She's very much, I tell you what, girl.
Yeah.
Seriously, I'm one of the things that I'm going to be putting in my first couple of episodes of my Becoming Candace series that I'm working on is the interview, the debate between her and Blair White. That was fucking embarrassing. She should try to have that scrubbed from the internet. All right, we're going to let this continue, see what else she's saying. She's definitely taking the gloves off with Erika. So there's no more pretense anymore, everyone. If you're just now joining us, there's no more pretense anymore that Candace Owens is not going to come after Erika Kirk. That's where we are now with this.
And come out, sit down, answer the questions so people don't think Turning Point USA looks so suspicious. Don't try to mom the organization and say, well, mother's upset because people are coming after her kids and all of the multi-million-dollar subsidiaries. That's my children. Okay. The multi-million-dollar subsidiaries, Turning Point, like Turning Point Action, all that, those are my kids. So you can't critique them. Not a good idea. Okay. It may work in PR world. You guys, I know how it's an obvious PR campaign. It's never been more obvious of a psychological operation. I actually wish they would put me on payroll so I could help them make these things look more organic than having every single person that has been telling us to stop asking questions all make the exact same video within 4 seconds of each other being like, whoa, Erika Kirk shuts down no, she didn't even respond to one of the conspiracies. She gave us emotion.
Wait, is she trying to suggest that all of us, did I miss something there? Is she trying to suggest that all of us who are making videos against her, that we're all linked and conspiring together? Because that sounds
what is she trying to say? Of course people are going to say good things. And also, mind you, we are 5 days out from the Turning Point live stream where they're actually going to address these claims. It is not the grieving widow's job to address every single conspiracy you have thrown out there. At all. She's going on what she's doing? She's going on the press tour Charlie would have gone on when his book came out, is what I'm assuming is happening here. I'm assuming because his book came out, now she is taking his place, and he handpicked her as CEO. He said, in the event anything happens to me, you go to Erika. That's what you do. That is what he said. And I want to quickly say, when Candace says they made over $100 million after Charlie died and insinuating that somehow makes them culpable, what happens when artists die? Whether it's music or painting, whatever, everything becomes worth so much more, right? They get so much more money, more streams, more whatever it is.
Sure.
They get so much more money. So for people to look and say, you know what, I want to continue to see the work that Charlie lived out and I want to see this organization do better, of course people are going to support that. And it's their way of supporting the family and the organization after Charlie died. So And that's not even all profit, right? That goes towards everything that they're doing and the midterms that she doesn't care about. So I don't think the organization looks suspicious. I think they look like they're just trying to get by every day after, Charlie was killed. And it's only been 3 months. Of course, they're still going to be trying to figure out those pieces. But she doesn't know when to just stop. That's the thing. I don't think anyone's ever told her no in her life.
Well, they've told her no. That's why she keeps getting shuffled from job to job. People don't want to work with her.
Emotion. She gave us emotion. She said, I'm a mother, I am a wife, and we never asked about whether she was mother or wife. We want to know if she is a CEO and a chairman. And a CEO and a chairman has to compartmentalize. A CEO and a chairman cannot respond to valid questions and critiques about.
She has to compartmentalize. What's that? Okay.
Finances, about shady actions that are being taken by people that require presidential pardons, people that are meaningfully asking why we are not getting a clear answer of what took place on September 10th. A CEO, does not get to respond and say, that's my family. Okay. That's the energy of what I would expect from a mother speaking to a teacher, which I was this mom, like that's my kid. Okay. And I'll shut this down right now. That's my child. This is not a child. Turning Point USA is an organization. And ERIKA already had an uphill battle to climb, like that she had to climb this because, by the way, just because if this was Goldman Sachs and the president of Goldman Sachs or managing director over at Goldman Sachs died in a horrifically violent way,
God.
the Goldman Sachs family might mourn for a couple of months, but they would have instantly had someone to replace that individual. And beyond that, they would have never accepted the public and the people that are investing money. They would have never accepted, well, he's gone, but here's his wife. She already had a hill to climb here, right? Like this is not qualified because
we get your stupid example.
This isn't the same thing at all. Like ERIKA was running Turning Point Faith. She was already a big part of it. It's not like you just pulled her in off the street and said, oh, you're going to be the CEO now. That's just not how it happened.
I know. It's stupid.
You love someone to take on their job. I am not qualified to do what my husband does. That's why I said I wouldn't want to be the CEO and the chairman of a company. Actually, there's a great clip of Jordan Peterson asking that very question. Like, why do women want to be? Like, why would you want to have? It's actually a lot of work and it's very stressful. And
I don't know, Candace. Why the hell do you want to be doing this instead of just focusing on your children? I fucking hate it. And by the way, this is a criticism that I also had for ERIKA KIRK, and in due time I will raise it again. But I do hate it when women who have extremely high-powered jobs start lecturing us about the fact that women need to be living more traditional, restricted, non-professional lives. I don't know why she would want to do it. Maybe the same reason that you are talking to us right now. Your poor husband probably wishes
a lot of numbers.
Get off.
And you're crunching numbers and you have to be everywhere. Okay. If you want that, great. If you built the company and you're in the room like Charlie Kirk did, and you have proven to the public, like, hey, I built this company. I didn't even go to college and I've been doing this for over a decade as Charlie Kirk did. You've earned that street cred. Okay. So she already had a hill to climb because now they're saying, well, this is his wife. And so, that's it. Well, now you're gonna have to prove that you have the ability to be a CEO and a chairman and not just a wife who we expect emotion from, and you're rightful in that capacity. You are rightful to have emotion.
I have to say, I am really surprised, Olivia, and to me, this is really scraping the bottom of the barrel in terms of effectiveness. Even I'm really surprised that she is taking the position that ERIKA was too emotional, because that was not how ERIKA came across. She was not unhinged. She was very composed. To me, it came across as very strong and almost a slightly masculine way. Almost stoic, angry. There was definitely a strong undercurrent of anger, but she was less unhinged than I see CANDACE Owens here. There's nothing unhinged about it. So it's strange to me. And I think that CANDACE, I'm not sure that CANDACE realizes this or not, but I think CANDACE's bag of tricks have run out, because this is the best that she's got to throw at ERIKA and Turning Point, that, oh, you got too emotional and that's not a good look for a CEO boss babe. That's not going to work.
You are rightful to be the aggrieved widow, but you don't get to just be widowed into the position of chairman and CEO. You don't get to respond to, well, in this case, investors, donors who have given money and are asking meaningful questions with, no, you don't get replies right now because this is the Charlie Kirk show, fam. Doesn't work this way. Okay. And the broader point,
is she accusing ERIKA of not getting back to donors who have raised inquiries? Because this is a new thing.
She was always a chairperson, if I remember correctly. Like, she's always been on the board for TPUSA. She's always been directly involved. And it makes me so mad. And I don't think, they've been very clear about this and she's just not listening. Charlie handpicked ERIKA to be CEO and chairman in the event something happened to him, whether he was incapacitated or passed away. He said, I want ERIKA at that position. So for her to say, it's not fair that she got to be this way, it's not how she should be there, it's not the way I would have done it. Well, unfortunately, Candace, the way you do things is anonymous email tips and then going from there and not actually listening to the people who care about you, saying, hey, whatever's going on with you, we need to fix. I think Erika has been very strong. I am not one to critique Erika, at least not right now. I want her to grieve and take care of her babies and do what she has to do to keep Charlie's mission alive. I think she's very strong. I think she is very incredible. She's not without fault. None of us are. But right now, I think she's doing everything she can to just get by.
Yeah, this is a really strange perspective that she's giving us here. I didn't expect something so weak from Candace.
Removed from Erika, which a lot of these mockingbird influencers seem to be making, is essentially they're saying to us that scientific inquiry and investigation in and of itself is now patently wrong.
Science.
Essentially, we should just trust the state. Don't believe your own instincts. Don't believe your own eyes. Don't ask any questions. And I really want to stress to you guys how utterly ridiculous that logic is, right? Because if we followed that logic in any other situation, there would never be a crime solved ever. Okay? If we just ascribe to the idea that scientific investigation is on its face wrong.
Scientific investigation. I love it.
I didn't know it was science to look at your email inbox and talk about it. I mean, my goodness, that's science. That's what Bill and I taught us growing up, is actually this.
Is that going to be, it's going to be interesting if that's going to be a new term that she's going to try to use a lot, try to pass off the bullshit that she's doing as the scientific method.
It would not work. I'll give you a crappy analogy here. But imagine if there's like some young mother and she dies suddenly in the middle of the night, presumably in the middle of the night, and her husband is the first one to report it in the morning, and the cops show up who happen to be his buddies. They get there, and then they dramatically close the case in 48 hours. And neighbors are like, wait a minute. Excuse me, officers. Actually, you might want to know some other facts here about this guy. Like, he's in the mafia. These people would be like, how dare you question the people closest to, he loved her. That's his wife. Being a gang member is not evidence. Why are you saying he's a gang member? It's not evidence. You get another nosy neighbor who produces evidence that in the middle of the night before she died, they saw the guy outside, the husband outside, removing cameras in the front yard. That's not evidence. Yeah, but I saw him go out in the middle. He put something in his car in the trunk. He was something shady. That's not evidence. How dare you find that to be suspicious? More nosy neighbors start discussing, and they were like, hey, we heard him. They were having actually.
Olivia, she's done it to me again. She has suckered me into a frankly boring ass live stream. Is this all there is? Jesus, I was enjoying the crazy paranoid schizophrenic from yesterday more than
I was too. I was having a good time with. I don't even know how a mobster's wife dying suspiciously in the middle of the night and his corrupt friends that are in the police department correlates whatsoever to what happened. Charlie didn't suddenly die in the middle of the night. That is not even what happened. I think
she's flustered by the fact that Erika, it was smart of Erika to put that interview out there just a couple of hours before the show. Or maybe that's just how it happened to be put out. Yeah. But I don't think that Candace had enough time to prepare her usual BS. And so she's just kind of off the cuff here, sputtering around.
A heated argument before she was found dead. I think it was about money. All of a sudden, the next thing you know, you got Allie Stuckey from the HOA.
Oh,
she
going
blasts
after
out an email
Allie.
and she says, it's unbiblical. It's unbiblical to gossip. Hearing an argument is not hard.
I just want to give a shout out to Allie. Someone else, another trad lady that I have disagreements with for similar reasons. Again, don't love it when people are promoting a traditional view for women or traditional, I would say kind of restrictive role for women at the same time that they're running an empire. But Allie Stuckey got a lot of points in my book for being early on this. Remember, several weeks ago, she called out Candace and she called her out hardcore.
Oh, yeah.
And she was the only one doing it. I know Tim Pool started more sort of subtly calling her out a few weeks ago as well, but Allie came on hard and she got shredded up by Candace for it. So anyway, here she goes again.
Evidence. You have no right to discuss it. Yeah, we're the nosy neighbors, okay? We put together a list of 20 verifiable lies that have been told in the weeks following this sudden death event. And yeah, we have some questions. So we're not going to accept Tim Pool jumping on the airwaves with big estrogen energy telling us we're evil.
What?
Because we have like school board elections next Thursday. We're the nosy neighbors. We don't care about the elections coming up.
Estrogen energy. Oh my
where are
God.
we in this whole like community here? Like, where do we fall in? Who are we if
He's-
Tim's yelling at the school board?
I guess that we're like his neighbors who are focusing. We're too focused on the school board elections.
We want to know whether or not we are in bed with people who are capable of murder,
Oh,
people that are
God.
capable of covering up murders. Actually, we, the nosy neighbors, feel a little bit less safe in this neighborhood until we know whether or not there are some psychopathic killers in our midst. How about that? That's how I feel. I think that's how a lot of people feel right now. So I want to express that. And this psychological campaign filled with emotional manipulation and how dare you, and the aggrieved widow speaks, and so you're not allowed to question a $150 million organization. No, I reject it. I reject that 100%. Which is why I will say it has arrived as a blast of fresh air that on this very same day, Tucker Carlson is standing up to the nonsense. He's not speaking about ERIKA, obviously. He is friends with ERIKA. But just the nonsense of what the FBI is saying, he's wading in and saying, yeah, the FBI is not being clear in what happened. And I have questions because, and I think it feels like a fresh air.
Like, I don't want to get into the can of worms, says Tucker Carlson,
no.
and I don't watch him enough to speak intelligently about him or the direction that he's taken. But I don't understand his story that he was attacked by demons. I'll just put that there for you. When someone thinks that they were literally attacked by demons, I don't mean psychologically, like, oh, I got really depressed and I felt like there was a demonic presence that was making me sad. I'm talking about he really thinks that he was physically wrestling with demons. I have to question what's going on there.
A blast of fresh air, because and I know many people at home, are seeing all of these people that we followed and we thought that they were heroes, and suddenly this assassination has exposed them all to be frauds. Like for the right price, they will join Operation Mockingbird. For me personally, that is how I feel, okay? Like people in the military that I thought were forthright, people that were journalists that I thought were forthright. I just am so let down. And I don't think I would have been able to handle if Tucker Carlson was among those people. You need hard evidence. As if the killer's going to walk in and be like, okay, here's how I did it, okay? I'm going to give you the hard evidence. I was here, there. Like, what?
No, that's disingenuous. Fuck you, Candace Owens. That is not what people are asking for, okay? Just because people are asking for you to provide in the 3 months that you have been yapping, to provide something more significant than, oh, I've got a source that I can't tell you about, or, oh, here were some Egyptian planes that we think were following this unusual pattern. When someone asks you to provide evidence, it doesn't mean that you have to have the whole fucking thing laid out for everyone. All right. She is such a binary thinker, and that is so characteristic of someone with borderline personality disorder, which, by the way, I heard Jordan Peterson diagnosed her with informally, but I know a lot of people don't have issues with Jordan Peterson, and he can be kind of loopy too. And I'm not even getting into the whole Israel Gaza can of worms, but I really believe that she is a dark triad figure and that she has some borderline personality going on. And that those people, they think in binaries, black and white. And obviously, if we're asking for any kind of substantial evidence, it must mean that we expect her to just have everything totally laid out on a plate for us. Give me a break. I'm going to do these super chats before I forget about them, and then we're going to continue on. Again, everyone, thank you so much for your support. It means so much. And if nothing else, like and subscribe. Dan Campbell, I posted this earlier, but I appreciate you. He says, you're right. It's incomprehensible to watch the super chats on Candace's channel scroll by faster than the speed of light. And you know what makes me sad too, is that I know there are a lot of people who are contributing to Candace who cannot afford it. You know what I tell, and I still say it, and I used to say it a lot to my fans and followers. Not only do I not want people to give me money that they can't afford to give, I don't want people to give me money if that would mean that there is something that gives them more joy in life that they can't afford to do. What I ask people is to think about how much they spend on a Starbucks latte or a Starbucks Frappuccino or something like that, and maybe kick a little bit of that my way sometimes if they enjoy my work or if they watch more than a couple of videos. But I know that Candace has gotten embedded so deep into some people's minds that I am sure that there are people who are giving her their hard-earned dollars who really can't afford to be or should not be. And that's another reason why it makes me so sad to see all of these gullible people on her super chat feed throwing hundreds at her and saying, oh, I have faith in you that you'll keep going. Thank God we have you. It's such a dark, horrible world. We can't trust anyone. This kind of demagoguery, it bleeds people of their hard-earned dollars. And she is no different to me than some kind of a shady Tammy Faye Baker televangelist. People like to make snide remarks about ERIKA KIRK sometimes as Tammy Faye. This is your Tammy Faye Baker here. Anyway. Okay. What else, Candace?
Fed Tucker Carlson is coming out and he is blasting the corporate and the Fed narrative with common sense. He joined Theo Von, and here is what he had to say. Take a listen.
I don't understand the official story at all.
Of his assassination?
I don't.
Oh, I missed the other super chat. I'm sorry, and it was a big one too. My bad. Let's do that right now too, and then we'll get back to Tucker. Thank you so much for this, Lisa. Hey, Kristen, awesome job. No, Kristen, I know how many hours Colonel Kurtz puts into this channel. It would be great for her to get tips. So thank you, Lisa. But if you can't support in that way, you can always press the thumbs up and leave a message. Thank you for that, girl, and I do appreciate you. Okay, so let's see what Tucker has to say. And by the way, I don't deny that there are some things about the official story that are questionable. Every case of any crime, life is weird. You're going to find some stuff that's a little odd, but people are too quick when there are these things that don't make sense. They're too quick to jump on the conspiracy button. And just like people were saying, there was no way that conversation between Tyler Robinson and Lance could be real, because who talks that way? Who talks this weird, calling someone my love? Well, then it turns out that he was on record, Tyler Robinson on record in a different video or something, as referring to him as my love. And one thing that I kept pointing out is we've got these weird fucking guys, Tyler Robinson, Lance Twiggs, and these guys that they hang out with. They're into like furry sex and all of that. You're telling me that you don't think these weirdos might comport themselves or express themselves in a strange way? Really? That's hard to believe. So and it's the same thing with the bullet, like the 360 bullet or whatever. People are saying, oh, there's no way that it could do this or that. And then I see online people like Paramount Tactical, people with tactical experience with guns, getting online and saying, well, actually it is possible. And we would need to know this. We would need to know this and this to be able to determine that. Things are more complicated than Candace Owens, I think, is able to deal with. But anyway, let's see what Tucker says.
I don't understand it. And I want to make sure that there is a truly rigorous and honest federal investigation of it. And I'm definitely concerned about that. A. B, I think that I don't know many of the details, but I know that recently Candace said that Egyptian registered aircraft were following ERIKA KIRK, Charlie's widow, around for a number of years in different places in the world. That's one of the weirdest things I've ever heard. And I just want to say that
first of all, this is not necessarily as Candace made it seem. I'm talking to several people with experience with this sort of thing and following aircraft and tracking aircraft, and they're saying that the way she's presented it is not accurate. I'm going to have a conversation with one of them. Jeff, we still got to talk. I know.
Actually true. That's true. So that's like the one data point that I happen to know is true. What does that mean? I have literally no idea. I can't even guess, but that's very, very strange.
And what is Egyptian? It could mean aircraft from Egypt. Who knows?
I think that they were registered in Egypt.
Got it.
And but
y'all, I'm sorry. I know that a lot of you love Theo Von. I just don't get it. Olivia, do you get it? I'm not trying to trash the man.
No, I mean, I've never, but he's like for the boys, I think. A lot of, I feel like a lot of people I know that like him are guys. I'm like, oh, he's for the dudes. That's fine. They have their thing.
I guess so. Anyway, all right. I don't want to start shit with Theo Von fans, but like every time I see him open his mouth, I'm just like, whatever. Okay.
But that fact is true. So enough. And it also her claim that, there were kind of a disproportionately large number of foreign registered cell phones at the event. That's also true. So what does that add up to? I don't know, but it means that, the FBI has a moral and legal obligation to look in every direction and to be open-minded as you would in any investigation, in journalism, in science, it's all the same process. I don't know the answer, and I'm going to sift through everything as open-mindedly.
You're muted.
Can I just say, Olivia, that I know Candace Owens, she has ignored the horn out there with the window open, but I know Candace Owens has been accused. God damn it. I'm sorry. I hate it when people lay on the horn. Can I just say that I know that I think that there's something a little fishy about Candace and Tucker both being on the same script now, talking about scientific evidence. That's, you know,
We're just asking questions, right?
She wants to accuse us all, the anti-Candace podcasters, of colluding against her. I feel like Candace and Tucker have been talking, and they're kind of getting on the same page, but we'll see.
As I can, as honestly as I can, to get to what the truth is. That's science, that's law enforcement, that's journalism. It's all the same. That's justice. And I just want to make sure that is happening. And I just don't have a ton of confidence in the FBI or the men who run it. And I'm not saying that out of ignorance at all.
That's a scary part too.
I'm not alleging anything. I'm just saying I think it's really important that we have that.
That is what authenticity sounds like.
That's the scary part too. Right. I know the FBI is not perfect or whatever, but it's so loony.
And that's what we're doing here. We are investigating, right? Sometimes you get something wrong, you correct it, but I was right about the Egyptian planes. And when you hear Tucker Carlson say that he is confirming that that part is true, what I take from that, Tucker Carlson has been very clear. He grew up with CIA agents, okay? This is a guy who grew up in Virginia. His father, he learned after his father died, he thought he was just working with the CIA. No, his father was on the payroll of the CIA. So Tucker's friends are in the state. So you should take it.
Why don't we start investigating him then? He sounds shady.
I was going to say, he sounds like a Fed. Like, what do you mean? Like, that doesn't sound good. You're just saying he's a Fed. Like, oh, his dad was CIA. Girl, disregard it. I don't trust anything he said. And for her to be like, oh, sometimes we get things wrong. You got one thing maybe right. Maybe if these Egyptian planes are, and again, like, it sounds like she's missing the mark on that too. But if anything, let's say she has part of that right. Out of all the things that she's said over 3 months, that's not the best track record.
So, no, I agree with you. Thanks for this, the super chat. Jalen says the worst sin is to covet. It leads to the decay of the soul and the breaking of all other commandments. So in terms of coveting, I don't know if this is exactly what she's referring to, but apparently there are people at TPUSA who go back a long time in terms of knowing Charlie and Candace and their history. And they are saying off the record to people like House and Habit and others, they are saying that Candace had a crush on Charlie. They believe she was in love with Charlie because, you know, she and Charlie, they were traveling together a lot when they were doing TPUSA together and were very chummy and, you know, hard work and also going out, I'm sure, after events and things. They say that Candace either had a huge crush on Charlie Kirk or was in love with him, and that then ERIKA came into the picture, and ERIKA was apparently very much Charlie's physical type, unlike Candace, and no knock on Candace's attractiveness, but, you know, pretty much opposite ends of the spectrum, right, physically, in terms of the, you know, the blonde sorority girl looking chick or whatever, right? And so apparently he fell head over heels for ERIKA. And Candace, the belief at TPUSA is that part of this is covetousness. In other words, Candace wanted the life that ERIKA had, and now she's trying to destroy it, honestly. Got
That's
another.
What I was going to say was that I think that was literally in my notes. Like, if Candace is all about asking questions, let's just ask the question. Is Candace Owens, or was Candace Owens, in love with Charlie Kirk? Because she's behaving in a way of like a scorned woman who didn't get the guy, or a jealous ex. And I don't think those two are ever, like, you could not convince me those two were romantically involved. But
I don't think so.
But I could see, like, she's behaving in a way that, again, it would be either a scorned ex-lover or someone who never got the guy, who's extremely jealous of ERIKA. Right. ERIKA is beautiful, literally like a pageant queen, right? And, and Candace is now here 3 months saying, well, I'm going to get justice for him, like trying to prove that she loved him more than ERIKA did or something. It's just very weird to me.
Right. All right. I really appreciate these super chats. Wyatt Kaldenberg says Candace said that she would stop if ERIKA asked her to stop. ERIKA implied that she wished everyone would stop. Now Candace is attacking her for it. Yeah. And this, by the way, this is why I think that TPUSA and Erika waited so long to have Erika come out, because this really was supposed to be like the nuclear option. And I think they were wanting to save that hand for when they absolutely needed to play it. And I think the decision was made, okay, it's time to go ahead and play it. And of course she reacted as we all expected she would, which is to not stop, to go after Erika. We've got another super chat here. Chris Stew says, guess what, Candace, Erika will do as she pleases. Absolutely. I want to make sure that I've got all the super chats, and then I'm going to let this play out some more. Also, PayPal, I appreciate y'all. I'm going to check my my messages there, because you can also, if you leave a tip on the PayPal, you can leave a message in the notes, and I won't say your full name, but I will address you. I got another one, a super chat from, thank you, $49.99. Wow. Gary Gorin says, thanks for being a voice of reason and moral clarity. Gary, I'm trying to find your chat so I can actually put it up on the screen, but for some reason it is not working right now. But I appreciate you for that big one. So anyway, we're going to go back to this now. I'll let it play out a bit, and then I'll check the PayPal. Thank you again so much.
As a concrete fact that there's something up with these Egyptian planes, and they were in fact following around Charlie, and they were following around Erika, as I told you. And that means people in the NSA, the CIA are confirming that that is real. And yet, just last week, what we got from Blake Neff, and I know he's untouchable, he's in the fam.
Wait, did we have a confirmation from the CIA and the NSA that what she's saying? No. Okay, I just want to make sure.
No, we did not. But I'm going to go ahead and touch that and say, like, this is not okay. The vibe is not right. Is making a mockery of it. That is what we mean when we say none of this is passing the vibe check with Turning Point USA.
God.
There's no clear answers. There's mockery, there's laughter, but there's no clear answers. And the mockery and the laughter is not working. Neither is this idea that, well, now the widow has spoken. We're not dealing with the widow. We want the CEO and the chairman of Turning Point USA to answer.
She's got her pitchfork out. We demand it. Bring her out. Bring her to me. Bring us the CEO.
Okay. If you can't compartmentalize, then
I'm a fucking bitch. And it's not compartmental. What is she even saying? It's compartmentalized. If you had finished,
I don't know what she's saying, dude. I don't know. Compartmentalize.
She's saying compartmentalize. If you'd finished college, maybe you would know this.
True.
Maybe. And no offense to people who didn't go to college either, but I'm over this fucking woman. Her uneducated bullshit ass.
This lady homeschools her kids, by the way.
Oh yeah, I bet. Conspiracy 101. I bet. Okay.
I don't see how you're going to be able to lead this organization in the future, because Charlie worked. We knew who Charlie was because he was authentic. Okay. He didn't just go, well, I only make time for like big pocket donors. Okay. He was sitting college campuses. He was speaking to people, understanding people. He was changing his ideas and he was changing minds. And you are not changing.
Give her fucking time. So you're ragging on Erika because apparently she's not getting back to every individual donor, and she's not making the rounds doing college tours. But on the other hand, you're going to rag on her for not being home with her kids and for being out. And so which is it, Candace? My God, though. Go ahead.
It's not like her husband was killed on a college campus, so maybe she's a little apprehensive, and she's been on college campuses and done these events. Yes, she hasn't sat, like Charlie did, but she did go and speak at an event, and they criticized her because she hugged the vice president in a way that they deemed not good. I mean, it's just relentless, and she has just...
She's had no... And also... Candace is upset that Erika hasn't done more as CEO, but the very point that Erika was trying to make today in that interview when she was talking about Nehemiah in the wall is that Erika would like to have more time to devote to Turning Point and to the Lord's work, so to speak, if she didn't have this gigantic gaggle of crazy heads led by Candace Owens. Natasha Very Good says, sorry, Candace wanted George to be named CEO. So Candace's husband, George Farmer, he used to be the head of or very important to Turning Point UK, and I don't know what his position is at present, but I'm sure that there is some resentment on that point that ERIKA KIRK now is the CEO through being Charlie Kirk's wife. She's the CEO of this organization that George Farmer was in for many, many years. I'm sure there is irritation there, and George Farmer probably bitches about it to Candace and says, "Oh, that should have been me," or what have you. Got another super chat. I really appreciate y'all. You're on fire with the super chats here. it's a good showing here, and we can all at the same time sleep peacefully tonight, knowing that we are not perpetuating lies to make money like Candace Owens. M. Sanders says, okay, Theo, Tucker, and Candace were at the Christmas party that has been organized. Tucker and Theo and Candace. Oh yeah, okay. So I feel like some of these people are talking behind the scenes and are forming a kind of an alliance here. Patty Smith, thank you for the super chat, says, thanks for doing this. Can't resist watching, but hate giving her views. Also, we watch for your commentary. No need to resist or apologize. And look, I want to say something on this point. I do feel torn about the fact that every time I cover Candace, every time I complain about her, expose her bullshit or whatever, that I'm also giving her coverage. I'm giving her an audience, right? And this is the big quandary of all that we do in social media, is how to call out bullshit, how to call out lies. I've also done this in my work on Me Too. I've exposed a bunch of Me Too hoaxes, and there's always this danger that in exposing something, you actually give it legs. And so I know it's a really small needle to thread. It's a difficult needle to thread, and I'm not sure we always do it. But the problem is, this woman has millions of followers. She is making the news right now. She's sucking all the oxygen out of the room, and I just don't feel like ignoring her does any good. And I think that's the calculation that ERIKA KIRK has finally made as well. So, all right, let's see what she has to say.
My mind about the fact that something weird happened that day and that TPUSA is acting funny because you give it an impassioned plea and speak about Nehemiah on Fox News. Okay? None of it makes any sense. Anyways, Tucker then goes on and states the obvious predicament further, which is that we just don't have any faith in the government. Take a listen to him discussing some of these lingering questions.
Here's what I am concerned about. A lot of things. One, he acted alone. Tell me how that worked. I don't, none of us really act alone.
It's hard to go anywhere by yourself, too.
Thank you. Exactly. You acted totally alone. Okay. You're going to have to prove that to me. It's totally possible. Anything is possible. Weird things have happened. We'll continue to. But that's not my default assumption, and it shouldn't be yours. And their default assumption was we acted alone. Really? Why do you think that? What about life suggests that people typically act alone? When was the last time you acted alone in anything? I don't go, right? So,
well, actually, it's not unusual. It's not that unusual. Even discounting the JFK assassination, if people think that's BS, it's not actually unusual to have these crazy assassins working alone. In fact, I just watched a great series called Death by Lightning on Netflix, highly recommended, about the assassination of President Garfield. Michael Shannon's in it. It's great. It's a great series, only 4 episodes. Check it out on Netflix. But anyway, the point is, it's about the assassination of James Garfield. And half of the show is about his assassin. And guess what? His assassin was a loner, a social outcast, a weirdo, sexually frustrated. You can just go down the list, and he was attention seeking, and he was a psychotic delusional. Who does that sound like? It sounds like just about every assassin that we come across. And so
Same
again,
with McKinley, yeah. McKinley's was also a lone wolf. And I get what they're saying in this modern age, but at the same time, like, why would he risk somebody telling that he's going to go do this? Like, that's why people act alone, is because they don't want to risk getting basically like ratted out.
Yeah, and they can't find someone to do it with them, because guess what? There aren't
crazy.
Yeah, exactly. There aren't a lot of people willing to go that far. Suprov, thank you for the super chat. Science fiction investigation.
Fair.
Yes, ma'am. Exactly it is.
B, we know that people had foreknowledge of this because they posted about it on X and said Charlie Kirk is going to be killed on this date, and he was.
Is that true?
Yes, it's true.
Were they just guessing? Was it a guessing thing where every day they posted that?
Maybe. Have those people been interviewed?
He doesn't know what he's talking about. There's more to that too, but we don't have time. Anyway.
Have they been hauled into FBI HQ and had a long conversation with how they knew that? Like, let's get really specific. Why did you post that? Who have you talked to? Like, if I were doing this investigation, because I spent my whole life doing non-criminal investigations called journalism, like, what do we know is true? How do we find out? Call everybody, be open-minded. It's like it's the same process. if I was doing this investigation,
Tammy, by the way, I don't know if I posted this or not. Tammy says, this woman makes me sick. Her cult has come after me and doxed me in my small town. They are evil, and so is Candace. My God, Tammy, I need to know this story. You should
That's terrible.
you should talk about this or post it on X or something and tag me, because I'd like to know what
Yes.
happened to you there. Also, I got a super chat from let me see, I just want to read it here. I posted it earlier, but Lil Wayne Oslia says, yay, I've been catching up on your videos, especially this. Love you guys. So happy I caught you live. All right, great. Back to Candace or Tucker.
they would be at the very top of the list. Tell me how this guy who seemed normal became a radical trans furry murderer. It's not enough to tell me, oh, trans. I'm not pro-trans, by the way.
But was that the guy or his boyfriend?
Well, exactly right. Tell me how this guy became so radicalized that he murdered a stranger. I'm not saying it didn't happen. I'm saying I want an explanation for how it happened. Why wouldn't I?
I agree.
Oh,
well, you're gonna get that at trial. I kind of think that's what's
what I'm
gonna
saying.
happen.
That's what I was thinking. I was just about to say, like, that is literally, they've probably brought all these people in for questioning, but it's not public because that's part of the trial. And if you show your hand to the other side before a trial, you're screwed. I don't know why you want to help out the defense so bad that you'd be willing to just blow everything open because you want to demand the information now. It's exactly what is going to happen down the line, but I just, for like Tucker to just say that, and Theo Von isn't super involved in this stuff, so he doesn't understand, so he'll just take it for what he's saying, right? And I don't blame Theo, he's got interviews, but he's just, he's just kind of like, okay, cool, sure. Right. And I get it, because he trusts Tucker, right? It's Tucker Carlson. Of course he's going to trust that. But honestly, I think Tucker's got some Fed blood now. That's weird.
I don't know what is going on with him, but yeah.
Can't talk about that because it'll prejudice the jury pool. Really, you've told the world that you have both a confession from him in his text to his boyfriend and the murder weapon with his fingerprints on it. I think you've got a pretty solid case. So why is it so difficult to just explain? So I have said from the beginning, if you don't like what Candace Owens is saying, why don't you call her and offer a more plausible explanation for what happened? Oh, she's bad. She's bad. Okay. I mean, I like her a lot. I don't think she's bad, but I love her actually. But let's just stipulate she's bad. But why wouldn't you do that? Because
I don't agree with some of the stuff that the rabbit hole she goes down, but I don't
even know.
But I like the fact that she likes to dig in the garden,
What did he just say? Did Tucker just say, I don't even know? When he said, I don't like the rabbit holes. Well, if you don't know, Tucker, then maybe you don't know.
Yeah,
you ever
like,
thought of
dude,
that?
you have no idea. Like, Candace loves this because she just loves that somebody is giving her attention and talking about her in a positive light when everybody else has been giving her crap. She's eaten this up. She's like, yes, praise me, please. And the thing is, like, yeah, like as Theo says, like you should be criticizing a lot of the rabbit holes that she's going down. And for them to want to just put everything out in the open right now is ridiculous. Of course, they're not just going to you can't be like, give me the trial information right now. I demand it before the public trial. And they're going to be like, oh, you're Candace Owens. That's right. You're important. Let me give this to you. That's not happening.
Exactly.
You're not that important.
That's what I keep saying is Charlie Kirk was not a public official or president of the United States where the public is actually owed anything. And Candace was not a family member. And look, when this stuff comes out, when we do have a trial, then people will get the answers they want. But here's the thing also, I don't think people realize, and I need to start doing a better job of this. I think that one of my videos pretty soon needs to be an attempt to organize and present so much of the evidence that we already do have, because I don't think people realize how much evidence there actually is out there that Tyler Robinson did commit this crime. And again, there are accounts that I've retweeted that have listed this. And when you actually look at it, it's pretty compelling. But the problem is that Candace is not going to give you that context. She's going to take things out of context and present what she wants. Meredith, thank you for the super chat, says that Tucker will not say is that the assassin was probably nudged into action. And the question is, who did the nudging? Well, probably. I mean, how do we know? I don't think that it is improbable that you have someone who, as I've said before with Tyler Robinson, he was having a Freudian, I know you hate Freud, Candace. He was having a kind of Freudian psychosexual meltdown, I believe. He was deeply conflicted over the fact that his sexual proclivities and his sex life had gotten so fucking weird That is not something that settles easy in the psyche, okay? It causes issues. And that's why he was projecting that internal discomfort and internal self-hate onto Charlie Kirk. That's what psychotic people do when they have internal issues. They project them onto and they exteriorize it. I'm sorry, Candace, I know that all this psychology, it's difficult for you. You hate Freud, right? Because you can't actually understand it. They exteriorize their own internal conflicts. They project it onto someone else. That person then becomes a target, and killing that person becomes a way for the person to cleanse themselves of their own psychological torment. Of course, it doesn't work, but that's the thinking. And so that's exactly what happened here. Is this guy actually Tyler Robinson had a lot of self-hate for all of his weird sex stuff and the trans shit. And he then projected that, exteriorized that onto Charlie Kirk and said, I have to kill him because he hates trans people. It makes actually a ton of sense. M. Sanders, thank you for this, says Minnesota Democrats were killed by a single man. Yeah, most of the time it is a lone gunman. That's the way things work, whether we're talking about John Lennon or we're talking about this Minnesota shooter or we're talking about dead presidents. I don't know about JFK, but most of the time it is a lone crazy gunman. So that is how it is. I need to read. Okay, we're done with all the super chats, caught up. I need to read my PayPal comments, and then we're gonna let things go for a bit. Okay, but I do appreciate. I'm gonna let Candace speak. Candace and Tucker speak freely for a bit, but I just want to make sure I get all my comments here. So, actually, let me get this set up. We'll play it out a little bit. Find this here.
Thea, we are in this garden, okay? And we're not getting out of this garden with the Fed slop narrative. We're just not getting out of the garden with trying to emotionally manipulate us and say, it's not, this feels like COVID, right? It's not like COVID-19. It's like Candace 19. It's another fake, it's a fake virus. Like, oh, you got infected. You just can't do it. 6 feet social distancing from Candace Owens. We're gonna get every influencer.
Dude, 6 feet is not far enough. I wish fucking 6 feet were enough to get away from you.
We're in different states, and I'm still too close to her. Like, but like, also, it's so narcissistic to think it's always all about her.
Yeah.
And to be like, oh, it's Candace 19. Girl, you sound crazy. Also, like, we're not shutting down people in their homes because you're batshit crazy. This is not another COVID-19. This is just you being an idiot.
She's not. This is one of her problems. Great point. This is one of her problems, is that she is not a nuanced thinker. And that's what I keep saying. And by the way, this is a customary aspect of someone with borderline personality disorder. I think she's a pretty classic case. George must have a rough time with her, assuming he even cares. I don't know his private life, but all right. I want to acknowledge people. Julie, thank you so much for the PayPal donations. She says, "Hey, Kristen, loving your coverage. Candace Owens, it keeps me laughing. Been sick and having a super crazy time over here. That's why you haven't seen me around. Keep up the good work. I do appreciate you, Julie. Long time. You've been one of my fans from the beginning." Neil, thank you. Also, again, one of my biggest fans. I see you a lot online. Says maybe a whistleblower can tell Candace when you're in a hole, stop digging. Very good. Also, Elizabeth R., I got your donation. No need for a shout out. No, that's fine. Said, I appreciate you covering this craziness with some common sense. And then Raylene, what a beautiful name. Raylene says, oh, sorry, just a moment. I lost you there. Oh, I don't think Raylene had a comment, just a donation. So I appreciate it. Okay, y'all, we are one more and we'll be totally caught up. Super sticker, Cheryl. Thank you so much for that, Cheryl. And then Jennifer, I think this may be the most super chats and donations I've ever gotten. Seriously, thank you so much. Jennifer Fitch says, thanks for going live with this. I won't give her channel any traffic. I love hate watching with you. I appreciate it. You know, I'm always running a risk that she's going to try to zap me with a copyright strike. So I really shouldn't do any more of these. And it's, you know, I probably can't take that risk, but this was just so juicy. Okay. We're all caught up, super chats and everything. So let's get going.
On social media, 6 feet social distancing, save lives. What are you, a grandma killer? What, you just don't like him? What? And then Tim's all fired up. She's a C word. People are going to die if you don't get this vaccine. And I'm like,
it's totally not the same.
I feel like
not even in the same
maybe
field.
The government's not telling us the truth. We're right back to that, but it's Candace 19. It's Candace 19. That's what it is. And they think that maybe if they put the little 6 feet social distancing pads in the grocery store, that the psyop will win and make us believe that this is like common sense is the virus. I'm the common sense virus that's coming around. It's so evil. Stay at home, wear a mask, save lives. You don't want to catch it. You don't want to catch the common sense, you guys. You don't want to catch it.
Candace, I have a question. I have to say, I have a question for Candace. No offense to people in the audience, okay? But Candace, do you know what this is a sign of? Because that's what I feel like we're getting right now.
Doing to herself right now. She's like, oh, Candace, like flailing around. And like, girl, I'm sorry. Look, I always think about when I say you're not that important. I think about the fact that every time I hate flying a lot. I really hate flying. I hate planes. I hate being in the air. But sometimes we have to fly. And Brett will always say, we're not special enough to end up in one of these stories. Like, that's what he says to calm me down. He's like, we're not special enough to end up with the Wikipedia page that we died in a plane crash. And Candace, you're not special enough to be the arbiter of common sense. Common sense has long gone. Like, I don't know. You don't have any senses that are common at this point. They are just gone.
She is just jerking herself and her audience
She
off.
is.
That is all. This is you, Candace. That's all that's
right
going
now.
on.
Yep.
All right. And I guess maybe things are bad with George, so she's got to get her kicks where she.
Anyways, I dare. I'm sorry, I dare. And I have been very careful because I wasn't sure what direction she was going to go. If she was like, I was like, look, she's got a whole business that she's got to figure out. There's a lot of people in her ear. Maybe they like did this transition too quickly and she's just like keeping her head like, no, what she's saying is Turning Point USA is untouchable. And
that's not what she said.
It's a no from me. But you know me. I'm just out here saying what needs to be said.
Oh, yeah.
Right back after a brief message from our sponsors.
She's just fearless.
All right, you guys, when they double down on abortion, we know.
All right, we're just going to click through.
Brief message from our sponsors.
Right.
/crazy. Okay, I'm worried.
Yes, you are.
Trust the influencers. You know, people over in the chat say we need some Candace 19 merch. Yeah.
Oh, God.
Don't go Max.
Please, no.
That's what Mark is saying. We're going to get some gear for you guys. Don't go Max. Get the vax. That's the vibe right now.
Oh, Lordy.
How many influencers is it going to take to get everyone to roll up their sleeves and not go Max? That's where we're at right now. How many people?
How many will it take for you to shut up, Candace? Like, seriously.
Thank you, Lane Matthews, for the super chat. Again, I all very appreciated. But yes, nuts.
But we have to send out to tell them. Please do it. Wild. Okay. I didn't get the vax. I didn't get the COVID-19 vax. And I'm not getting whatever the heck this is. Okay.
What?
Which is
What is she talking about?
Federal stupidity is what it is. Now, I can also tell you that because my mommy sleuths, they're so fast before stuff even ends. I get tips.
A lot of your mommy sleuths aren't with you anymore because I want to say something also. I said this online earlier. You are the new Blake Lively. You know, Nietzsche has this famous saying that he who fights monsters should take care lest he himself become a monster. I don't know if fighting monsters for so long has turned you into one, or I think when I look at your bio that you've kind of always been a nut. But you now are as bad or worse than Blake Lively. You are.
Oh, she's so bad. And she's just...
Go ahead.
Look, like, I tweeted this while we're sitting here. I'm out here posting things as I think of them. I'm sorry. I'm not one to advocate taking children away from their families, but as somebody called CPS to just get a check, just to check to see if they're safe with her, because she is so nutty that I genuinely feel bad for these children. I don't want them to suffer for her delusions. Because they didn't do anything wrong. I just can't imagine growing up and this is your mother. This is supposed to be like, look, if you have to look at your mother and you get to pick either Candace Owens or ERIKA KIRK, I think any kid would pick an ERIKA KIRK over a Candace Owens any day.
Her kids, at the very least, Candace might be a great mom in a lot of ways. I don't know, but her kids are going to be growing up with a weird, skewed ass view of the world. She's going to be telling about all this Freemasonic shit, this Freemasonic league that's connecting all of these governments and Bridget Macron's penis and all that. By the way, one more thing before we let this play out more. she has now mentioned, she hasn't mentioned it today, but Candace, I noticed, has now several times on several episodes, she has mentioned that she wants to know where Brigitte Macron, she wants verification of where Brigitte Macron was when Charlie Kirk was assassinated, because she suspects, she told Russell Brand this, she suspects that Brigitte Macron, get this, was in America and was in some way directing the Charlie Kirk assassination. That's what she has insinuated. She keeps demanding to know where ERIKA KIRK was when he was assassinated, because she suspects that not Erica, I'm sorry, did I say Erica? I meant Brigitte. She wants to know where Brigitte Macron is because she suspects that Brigitte was actually involved in the Charlie Kirk assassination.
You know what's crazy? And Allie Beth just tweeted about this. I saw this and it makes perfect sense. She said it's weird that the two countries that Candace has beef with are somehow the two she's implicating in Charlie's murder.
I know.
Strange.
Doesn't it just work out perfectly? And that's another sign, by the way, of a paranoid schizophrenic delusion. I don't know if she's paranoid or borderline, but a paranoid schizophrenic will have all of these ways in which everything connects to everything. And it's ridiculous.
It's about things.
Also, one more thing. I love today when ERIKA KIRK cursed. She said something like, what the hell this is or whatever. And then she said, pardon my French. Now, we know that's just, a normal kind of old-fashioned expression for pardon my bad language. But I love that it was French, right? Because that triggered some people. Some people were like, oh my God, France. It's a France reference.
And Erika literally today sat down with Barry Weiss. It's been marketed all over. They're going to have this big sit down, a conversation moderated by Barry. It's going to feature voices from across the political spectrum. They're going to talk about grief. And I got this email after, and it's interesting. I got actually a couple of emails, but I'm going to read this one to you because it was a town hall-ish event. Here's what they said went down. This person writes, I just came from the CVS. By the way, whoever wrote this email, I love you. I just love all of the mommy sleuths that are this quick. They wrote, I just came from the CBS Times ERIKA KIRK town hall, and this is what she said about the conspiracies and Candace. 1, Erika said she was pregnant when the Egyptian planes were flying and following her, so she wasn't on them. She said she has photo proof. Huh? I'm sorry. Did I ever accuse Erika of being on Egyptian planes?
Oh, I don't know, bitch. Maybe she got confused of all your stupid conspiracy theories. Get the fuck out of here with this.
Or saying like, they were in the same place as her. Her point is she wasn't flying because she was pregnant.
Oh my God. Oh, yeah, exactly. That is the point.
She wasn't flying anywhere.
What even is this?
When I found the Egyptian planes, I was concerned that they were following Charlie because I thought, wow, has there been a foreign government that has been tracking his events? Like maybe, I don't know, like running through the operation early, and then we broadened it when someone clued us into the fact that actually these planes have been following Erika. You just heard Tucker Carlson confirm that. I thought she'd be concerned. Instead, she's gonna tell us on Saturday that she wasn't on the planes. I never said you were on the planes. Why would I think you were on the Egyptian planes? I don't think that you took off and went to Wilmington, Delaware. I know you didn't go to Wilmington, Delaware on the day of Charlie Kirk's assassination. I find that answer to be lacking. Okay.
Of course you do.
That is weird.
Of course.
To me.
Who the fuck are you? You find
what? Seriously.
I find it. I'm sorry. I find that
It's lacking.
It doesn't.
Girl, you're lacking in brain cells. Like, stop it.
It's like she's running. It's like she's conducting a show trial, like these old time like show trials that the Nazis used to do. They're complete fraud, and it's all about theatrics. That is what this reminds me of, and it's such a nightmare. Such a nightmare. Black Mirror episode. That's what it is.
Weird answer to give. And by the way, you can fly when you're pregnant. Even if you were on the Egyptian plane, that's a possibility when you're pregnant. So I don't understand that part at all. 2, when Barry asked her about the conspiracies and what she had to say to those saying them, Erika said, stop. No. 3, not about Candace, but she talked about Israel and said good things about Jews and how TPUSA is having Shabbat dinner. No, I didn't read that before we went live at AmFest. Okay.
She didn't even read this email before she went live.
You knew the Shabbat reference was going to set people off because she's so hooked into some of these really extreme anti-Israel people. Again, I'm neutral in that whole controversy.
I'm assuming it's like a good amount of people are Jewish there, and so they're having a not a company like sanctioned thing, but it's like everyone at the company that's Jewish can participate in this.
Well, and here's
that's what
the
I'm
thing,
guessing
too.
happened.
Here's the thing that Candace may not understand is that a lot of born again Christians and very religious Christians actually have a deep reverence for and affection for the Jewish people and the Jewish tradition. I can tell you this growing up in East Texas in the Southern Baptist Church, that I grew up hearing my mom say things, quoting the Bible verse about Israel being the apple of God's eyes and all of that. And again, I'm not like, I'm not even, I don't even subscribe to the Christian religion, right? But I'm just saying that this is something, just like George Farmer's father is a hardcore Protestant born again Christian, and he's also a hardcore supporter of Israel, because it's the idea that the Jewish tradition is that which laid the groundwork for Christianity. So it's not weird if you have a Christian organization for them to have some respect for the Jewish faith, which was the precursor to the Christian faith. Again, maybe if you had finished college, you would have learned this, Erika.
Or literally
Erika.
did an ounce of
Candace.
research. Like an ounce.
Yes. I just like to refer to that because she didn't finish college, and so it's just another way to.
Oh, of course.
No
Twist the
offense.
knife, yeah.
No offense to anyone who didn't go to college or whatever. All right, here we go.
Yay! You guys, I want you to know, in addition to the fact that Charlie, in the last couple of days, wanted people to know that Mikey is fantastic and supercalifragilisticexpialidocious, and he had this whole vision, and that Rob McCoy was his favorite pastor, and that you should buy Josh Hammer's book. He also wants you to know to just be a Jew.
Oh God,
we get it. We get it. Those were his last words. Okay,
so
we get it. Just like, okay.
That's how we all feel about you.
Anyways, moving on from that.
Yeah, let's move on.
I want to say to the 39 bajillion of you who were in the military who emailed us to let me know that I misspoke yesterday. Okay, I even said to you ahead of time. I said, I don't know military vernacular. I don't know these terms. It's like another language, and you guys are not aware of
talk about it.
Okay, so you critiqued me for saying E4, E3 when I should have said 06. I'm jotting down these notes. I'm having a conversation. I'm trying to fact check things. And for me, I was focusing on.
I love the fact that apparently she got a lot of shit from.
She did. She got so much
military
wrong.
people, and
yes.
now she's trying to slink out of it again. She's just like, well, it was just, I told you I didn't know what I was talking about. And
how did you put E4 over 06? Like, I'm sorry. How did you, like, no, the guy said it. You wrote it down. He was wrong. He's batshit crazy. And then you sounded stupid. And now you're trying to shift the blame somewhere else.
The other thing too is that she's trying to make it seem like it was just a misstatement on her part, but the real issue was that none of these ranks that she was citing yesterday, even the E6 or whatever, none of these are high-ranking officials. In other words, this guy, her schizophrenic source from yesterday, was claiming that he just happened upon these really high-ranking, high-level military officers who were hanging out at the Candlewood Suites with Charlie Kirk's security guy. And it was pointed out that none of those ranks were high-level people. They were like a sergeant, and people were. And so it really doesn't matter whether it was a little slip-up or not. Your larger point, Candace, and the larger point that your source was making were BS. I got a super chat, Lil Wayne on Slaya. I'm so glad you're doing this and commenting. I want to know what's going on, but I don't want to watch her channel. Such a lack of empathy from Candace and understanding. Wow, digging her own grave. Yes, she is.
A timeline of where he was. I was like getting all of the proof from our military guy who was there for this meeting on September 9th and it's also on September 8th as well. And I misspeak, okay? Because you guys basically speak Japanese. You don't realize.
By the way, we haven't seen any of this proof either. Do you remember, Olivia, that yesterday when she talked about this source, she told us that he had shown her all kinds of stuff, that he had court documents and he had non-disclosure agreements and police reports and all of these things. And she even read something. Remember all those numbers she was reading off of her phone yesterday? Why is it, if you have all of this documentation, that none of it can be made available to us? Why? I would think that would be the most obvious
She demands proof. Why can't we demand proof?
It seems like it'd be the most obvious thing. Take all of those documents that he gave you, redact what you need to, if there's addresses or whatever there, and publish it. We never get
Yeah.
that though. You notice we never get that. We get same thing with her French source. Supposedly 2 weeks ago over Thanksgiving break, her French source, high up in the French intelligence community, had shown her again. She claimed that she had been shown documents, right? But we don't see anything.
We
And
don't see any of it.
I'm so tired of her asserting things that are never backed up with any kind of documentation.
As you do, but you do. You speak Japanese. And I said E4, E3. And I went back and I checked the notes. And actually, he said 06s. Thank you. Thank you for your 26 billion emails to let me know that I don't know ish about the military. Okay. It was a human error. I made it very clear.
I do like that apparently people got under her skin with that. You can see that
Yeah,
it got
you can
under her
tell she's
skin that
annoyed.
she was being called out on that. Yeah, that's what happens when you are spouting a lot of bullshit.
That I am ignorant when it comes to the military. I will own that. And so please just be nice to me sometimes, where it's a lot of information, a lot of researching. And I just wanted to confirm he said he was where he said he was.
Literally accuses our military of murder yesterday, a complicity in murder. And now she's saying, be nice to me because I got a lot of shit wrong. What can you expect? Well, I don't know. Maybe I expect better of someone who is going to, with a 7 million person audience, who's going to accuse our military of murdering Charlie Kirk.
Was
Right.
and take those notes. But no, he did not. He was very clear. I checked the notes that he had said 06. I think I made the mistake when I transferred my notes because he said colonels or captains. Then I Googled it and then I edited it thinking that maybe I heard him wrong. It was over a 1 hour phone call. Anyways, regarding him, for those of you guys that emailed us, I told you, you can trust that we are not just taking a thumbs up from someone. There's a lot of research that goes into all of these things. And we were able to confirm everything he said was real. He gave us his card that he swiped onto the base. And now, because you guys sent so many emails and actually people who were on that base in Arizona, the Huachuca base in Arizona, adding further credence to his claim, is we've been able to since verify 2 more things
Lord.
from other people that are currently stationed there.
Oh, Lord.
First and foremost, I should tell you, we have a positive ID on Captain Neff. He was not sure what Captain Neff's first name was. It was, in fact, Adam Neff, and I'm sure captains have different names, but Adam Neff of the 10th Mountain Division is the individual. I sent picture options to him as your emails were coming in, and then someone said Adam Neff. I sent it, and he confirmed that that is the...
I got to run to the restroom, so I'm going to let this play out.
Sure.
Olivia, I'll be right back, all right?
Go ahead.
Correct person. There were several, obviously, but Adam Neff was leading the interrogation of him. And it checks out because that is the division from New York. Also, we have now confirmed, and this is exciting, because we got a lot of emails going, oh, like if this was really this like meeting, people wouldn't have known it was taking place. They would have used a empty building or something like that. Well, guess what? We have confirmed from people currently stationed on the base that JTF is indeed using a building. I'm not going to name the building. I know the exact one because I don't want to, accidentally violate national security, but effectively they are borrowing a building. So it's effectively unmarked in that sense. And that building has been turned into, please forgive me if I get this wrong, but I'm reading it direct from the email, SCIF, which stands for a sensitive compartmented information facility. Okay. So they have since added barbed wire around that facility for additional security. Cell phones and other electronics are not allowed. This is where he saw the meeting, by the way, unless they are government issued. They are not allowed in that building. And it requires top clearance to be granted access into that building. Again, we have now verified this outside of this individual who was definitively telling the truth. He sent me so much documentation that it was like, I could have showed you everything. His old passport, his new passport, his military ID card, hotels, it's books, times, text messages, phone call logs with his wife. It just really is a circumstance that this man has either the worst or the best luck ever when it comes to him sort of stumbling upon military operations, right? First, he finds this cartel tunnel when he's 20. Now we fast forward, he's 56, and he just was getting some coffee, and someone's like, "Here, actually, yeah, no, that's the old boys are getting back together in this unmarked building." And he stumbles in there. It also, by the way, does provide an explanation for why they panicked when he just walked in there.
Because he wasn't supposed
because
to.
they were like, he should not have known that this building was here. They didn't buy his excuse. It's 7 hours later, they allowed him to leave, or Captain Neff allowed him to leave. Now, we can also give you some more information that gets really interesting. Okay.
Now
Remember,
it's interesting, guys.
Harry told me that seeing that many, I hope it's 06. Is it 06? Do not email me. Okay. He said it is not common unless, and he specifically said, there were some high-ranking congressional member or someone close to the president, like the vice president. Well, we received another tip that makes things especially compelling. So I'm going to just read you this email in its entirety. We have fact-checked it. It is true. Trust us to fact-check stuff, by the way.
No.
By the way, guys, we would not
No,
just randomly
do not trust.
be like, thumbs up. We're just going to go with that. This person writes, I just wanted to bring to your attention that on September 8th, that's when he says that he saw some funny business, 2025, a U.S. government plane, a special air mission plane, caught my eye. This is what I found about that particular plane that is based out of Andrews Air Force Base, shown as Camp Springs below. U.S. Air Force C-37A Gulfstream is Gulfstream 5 is a VIP jet. Part of a unit that caters to senior members of the executive branch and Congress.
So now it's famous.
Plane number is 99-0404, as you'll see on the screenshot below. On September 7th, the plane flew from Andrews to Colorado Springs. On September 8th, it flew from Colorado Springs to Tucson. Then, 5 hours later, from Tucson, and then the transponder appears to be turned off. However, at 12:31 p.m. on September 9th, it flies from Fort Huachuca to El Paso, and then El Paso back to St. Andrews. Now, why is that interesting? Okay, because that means the timeline that he gave us is exactly right. This meeting took place early in the morning. I think it was 7:37 where all this happened, and then he's saying
7:37
he assumed it was like a high-ranking congressional person or somebody that potentially could be in the cabinet. This guy is saying that's what that plane is used for, and he also brings in El Paso. Remember, El Paso, Texas, is where all those weird flights were coming from on the day of Charlie Kirk's assassination. So that is extremely compelling, and like I said.
So a couple of things. First of all, I think she might be finished talking about ERIKA KIRK, so I'm probably going to wrap this up. What I'm going to do is I'm going to skip ahead and see if she comes back to ERIKA. But really, I just wanted to see what her response would be. And now it seems like she's left that, and she's basically just
telling stories again.
She's doing her usual. But do you notice though, Olivia, how many times in like the last 10 minutes she has assured us that her team vets the information and the sources that she gets?
I had fact checkers. I was like, no, you don't, girl. Like you said, you got this last night, and it should take a lot longer to vet that information.
Oh my God. Of course. And I think that it must be starting to sink in a bit for her, or she's starting to get some pushback about the fact that she is been relying so heavily.
Having spoken to this individual who
on human sources and has been providing us with no verification of their flimsy stories. And so she wants to assure us, instead of actually taking these documents that she assures us that she's seen, redacting whatever she needs to, but putting those documents out there for us to at least see that she has received some of these documents, she doesn't even do that. She's literally telling us that we just need to trust her and trust her team to do the fact checking. Absolute bullshit, and she would not stand for it if it's something that ERIKA KIRK or TPUSA were trying to pull. So I do want to skip. I'm going to skip ahead a bit and see if she gets back to ERIKA KIRK. Otherwise, I'm going to close this out because, I mean, again, like I said, I'm tired of going down these rabbit holes with her. I really did not want to get suckered into another Candace episode, but I did want to see what she would say to ERIKA KIRK because she did claim that if ERIKA told her to stop, that she wouldn't, and she's clearly said no, that she's going to continue now. So I don't know.
When someone important is on the plane, it switches their call sign to SIN, which stands.
There's fungus, worms. This isn't just a third world.
In her head. There's fungus and worms in her head.
Growing.
That's the answer.
It's growing in her head.
Candace needs a purge. She needs to go to the purge store herself. Hey, You know what it is? I bet Candace has some cats, and that toxoplasmosis has just gotten out of control.
Yeah, she cleaned the boxes when she was pregnant, and so it affected her. I bet you that's what it is she didn't take, she did it pregnant. She
That
did those boxes pregnant.
toxoplasmosis, that'll get to you. All right, so
Yeah.
what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get us all the way up to the current moment on her, and let's just see what she is at this moment, because we got a little behind. Let's see what she's talking about at this very moment. Okay, so we're going all the way up to live. Oh wait, what just happened? Hold on. I might have to click on it again. Just a second here.
Okay, you guys.
That's
Did
it
it
then.
end?
Yeah, so let's catch the very end and let's see how she ended things. So we got up to, it's like what, 101:45. So let's start at about, we'll watch the last few minutes and see where she decided to land on this. What a complete waste of time, as usual.
Egyptian planes, and they're being kind of shady.
Oh, she's still talking.
I would be like, whoa, that is weird. What's up with these Egyptian planes? They're just making jokes. That there's something not right with that, like making jokes about something that if you should be concerned at the very least about, even if it turned out that it led nowhere, which it has not turned out that it led nowhere. It actually led somewhere, and it's been confirmed. Why are you not concerned? I just need an answer for why they are never concerned.
Because you're
Meryl Gerstenmeyer writes, it seems to me Erika's moral outrage is manufactured more for an elite target audience as opposed to those normal folks who want to solve the actual murder. It does feel, I would say it feels elite. I don't have time for the little people. Okay. I don't have time for, you small pocket donors. I got time, but like it's going to be spent with power. It's going to be spent in the West Wing.
Why does she keep talking about small pocket donors? I don't understand. Would she have us believe that there are all of these smaller donors to TPUSA that are freaking out and demanding
demanding FaceTime? Like
what? Jesus.
It's going to be spent raising $40 million at Mar-a-Lago. When we say building, what we mean is like a financial arsenal. And
Candace, maybe one of the reasons why they're having to work like motherfuckers to raise so much money is because they have an army of crazy lunatics, millions of lunatics who are on their ass now trying to tear them. They are trying to bring in as much cash as they can, batten down the hatches. My God, ridiculous.
It's easier to appease people who are billionaires than to build a grassroots movement. That's what Turning Point USA was. It's not anymore, clearly, but it was a grassroots organization. That was the pitch. That was why I worked for them. The idea that you could get on the ground when nobody knew us, nobody knew me and Charlie, and we could get on stage and we could convince people of what we believed in. Okay. Every conversation mattered in those times. Every debate mattered. Every feeling that a person had, even if it was valid or not valid, it mattered. And now we get the sense that this is the RNC. So if you ain't spending for a table, you ain't getting a response, okay? Because we busy.
So because TPUSA has not addressed her claims and her slander, it must mean, therefore, ergo, they just don't have time for any of the little people.
No, apparently not.
We very busy. H. Biz writes, who was the woman in the pickup truck? I don't know who the woman was in the pickup truck. You're referring to what Harry, I mean, Harry thinks he has an idea and he should come out and he should share his story. I would be interested to see if he is, like I said, I can tell you he was factually there, that the meeting happened now exactly as he said it happened at exactly what time he says it happened. I cannot confirm his own eyes. I can't confirm his memory of who he believes he saw. We can't confirm it was Brian Harpole. We can't, was it a Brian Harpole lookalike? Do a lot of military men look the same? He is certain he saw Brian Harpole. Give him time to come out and tell his story. Servant of Yahweh writes, who was the young woman in the Candlewood Suites Hotel with the special ops guy? They left in the green truck on September 8th. If you or anyone you know works at that hotel and has that security footage,
oh my God,
please get it to Candace before it gets deleted. I would imagine if he is right, that footage is deleted. But that would still be a clue if it was deleted. So yeah, if you work for the Candlewood Suites Hotel, the military base, could you check that footage, please, for us on September 8th? More tips at CandaceOwens.com is who you can send that tip to. What you doing staying at the Candlewood Suites Hotel? Sorry, that's an old hip hop song. I'm out of control. I obviously.
Yes, you are.
I'm sorry, guys. This is a new strand of Candace 19, and it's resistant. It is absolutely resistant, even to the vax. So anyways, you guys, we're going to keep going, Max. And I am going to keep on this, see what comes of this. We will see you guys tomorrow.
So literally everything that she said before, Erika can stop me, was not true. She said, Erika's the only one who can stop me. Erika said, stop, please stop. She said, I'm going to go harder. We're going to go Max.
Yep. As we predicted, as I think everyone knew, as it turned out, that was just an empty promise that she would stop when Erika told her to. And so now she's turned on Erika. And look, I was looking at her chat earlier before I came on, Candace's chat. Yeah. And let me just tell people, if you have not seen her chat, it is rabidly anti-Erika. And again, I repeat, I have some of my own issues with Erika that I've talked about before, whatever, but I put aside because I think that the larger goal here of shutting Candace down is what's most important and so forth. But let me say this, they are absolutely vile, the comments about Erika, and her chat has gone rabid, and they're saying hideous things about her. And, I knew it was only a matter of time until Candace went against Erika, because her followers have been on her for weeks and weeks and weeks to go hard on Erika. In fact, there have been a number of them in the comments on her videos who have said things to the effect of, I don't know how much longer I can trust Candace, because she seems resistant to going after the main problem here, the main problem being Erika, or one of the main problems, right? And so her followers have been pressuring her to go after Erika. It was really only a matter of time until this happened. But here we are. The final tie, so to speak, restraining Candace has been cut, and she is clearly, evidently going to double down. So I was very glad to see Erika come out as strong as she did. I think actually that Erika comes across better when she is angry and feisty and going after Candace than she has in other settings that I've seen her in. And so I hope that she stays strong. And my hope is that gradually more and more followers of Candace Owens will fall away. I know that, look, there's that famous saying by Mark Twain that I posted on my Twitter today, that it's easier to fool someone than to convince someone that they've been fooled. And I know that there are a number of Candace followers who are having to eat some crow, as they say. And I understand that when you have been promoting someone's ideas and it turns out that they're a fraud, I understand that you kind of have to swallow your pride to admit that you were fooled. But I wish that some of my friends would go ahead and swallow that pride, because it makes me sad to see some people out there, and I don't want to mention their names, but some podcaster friends of mine out there still defending her and moreover attacking those of us who have been criticizing Candace. One of my podcaster friends yesterday declared that we collectively have Candace derangement syndrome. And she said that it was reminding her of Trump derangement syndrome. Well, that's highly insulting. And also, it doesn't look very good that you think that Trump and Candace Owens are the same. But I don't appreciate the insults. I also don't appreciate being told that I'm on the demonic side in all of this. People are talking about this demon shit way too much. I don't know if demons are real or not. I don't have a strong religious faith or position at this point, but I'm really tired of that word being overused. Not everything and everyone that you disagree with is a demon or is demonic, although Candace Owens herself kind of looking demonic these days. Yeah. Olivia, I just want to say before we close up, everybody needs to check out Olivia's channel. If you look in the very title here of this video, you will see her YouTube handle. So you should be able to click on that. If you can't click on it, then you can just highlight it, copy it, go to that channel. I'll also put a link below, but she's a new channel. Check it out. And as always, like I said, I really appreciate your tips and donations. It's really done my heart good to see that we have gotten some super chats and some tips today. And I appreciate it. I'm not funded by Zionists, and I'm not married to a wealthy English lord either. So very much appreciated. My links are below. PayPal especially preferred, just because they take less of your money than YouTube, but I love the super chats as well. And you don't need a PayPal account to donate there. So appreciate it. Everybody check out Olivia's new channel. And Olivia, any closing words?
Man, so many but nothing at the same time. There's just so much to be said about Candace. I will say, as someone who is pretty Christian, I don't think she is a demon. I think there's some kind of demonic thing taking over her or trying to. And Christians believe that the devil will fight for your heart and your mind, and it seems like he's working extra hard on Candace right now. I just, if you are a Christian, I encourage you to pray that whatever has taken hold of her, a demon, a mental illness, whatever it is, pray for that woman, because it is really sad to watch her do this. But yes, if you guys want to as well, if you can't find my channel, my ex is just Olivia Dasovic. If you go there, it's in my bio. And then, of course, like I said, you guys should also follow my husband at Pop Culture Crisis, Brett Dasovic. He's awesome, does really great work with Mary, so I encourage you guys to check him out as well.
All right, great. Thank you so much again, everybody. And just making sure I didn't miss anything. Doesn't look like that I did. So, all right. I don't think we're going to be streaming Candace tomorrow. Something tells me, but I am definitely going to be continuing on with this and talking about it. And also there's been some developments and other stories like the Blake Lively thing. I don't know if people know, but the trial between Lively and Baldoni has been postponed to May. And yeah, so anyway, everybody, thanks again so much. Check out my links below. If you enjoyed this, and you didn't catch my live stream yesterday, we did a live stream of Candace yesterday. That one was more fun because she was so off the chain with that obviously BS conspiracy story that some dude snowed her with. And you should check it out. I'm going to put out some of the best of clips on my channel shortly, but we had a great time. We were just laughing our asses off. But I think, Olivia, this is going to be my new symbol for Candace Owens.
It should be. It's so good. It's so, just accurate.
Sorry, Mom. I know it's vulgar, but this is her channel. All right. Bye, everybody. Thanks so much. I'll see y'all later.